pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chris, could you call the roll, please?
Emerson,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Muta,
Here.
Prieto,
Here.
Rakos,
Here.
Salinas,
Here.
Button.
Here, let the record reflect that all members are present. Thank you all for coming. Next item on the agenda, Board, you should have received a copy of the past meeting minutes for the meeting of July 15th, 2024. The chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Muta, seconded by Councilman Salinas. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries 7 in favor and no dissent. Next item on the agenda is report on the work study session. Immediately prior to this meeting, the board met to review items on the agenda. Is there any other discussion or any other comment? Hearing none, next item is item 6, funding. It's from our controller and esteemed Commissioner Megan Moore, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I do not have a formal update for today's meeting.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is matters from mayor, council, and other departments. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the board at this time? I'd like to just recognize that our new Chief of Staff, Scott Miller, is here tonight. Appreciate seeing you here. And John Kennedy's in the audience. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is old business. Item 8, old business. The chair wishes to make a comment that as much as he appreciates your approval of, it would have been a funding allocation 197. That was a traffic signal and other work at the Hammond Sportsplex. That has been reassigned to be funded by other sources, namely the Central TIF. And thanks to the mayor and our city controller for that to free up more CIB money. So thank you very much. Any other old business? Hearing none, item 9 is new business. Item 9A is funding allocation number 197, pavement corings on Columbia Avenue with advanced engineering services in the amount of $7,360. Is there any recommendation?
Make a motion.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Prieto for making the motion and Commissioner Muta for seconding. Is there any discussion? This is for a certain number of pavement corings to occur along Columbia Avenue, which has been selected as Hammond's 2024 application for Community Crossings Matching Grant, which is a 50-50 match with the state. The engineering department has made application on July the 30th for funding in the amount of $3 million total project or $1.5 million from the state. We expect to hear something in November on that, but in order to keep the project moving with the design by United Consulting, this will help better determine what is required based upon the corings that we'll find from Advanced, should this board approve. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries 7 in favor and no dissent. Next item on the agenda is funding item B, funding allocation 198, Holman Avenue reconstruction, change order number 22 with Reith Riley Construction Company in the amount of $18,332.70. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve funding allocation number 198.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Councilman Salinas, seconded by Councilman Emerson. Is there any discussion? This is to create a secondary access to access the Lake County Courthouse and as a entrance and exit for the federal courthouse to the north in light of the recent closure by NICD of Russell Street to the east and Holman Avenue reconstructions project that closed the east approach to Holman Avenue or the west end of Russell Street. So we basically landlocked Russell Street and had no other access to the county courthouse, the federal courthouse, or other buildings in that area. This accommodates those improvements, both with maintenance of traffic, striping, and some concrete work and some asphalt work on the approach to Fayette from Russell Street. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries, 7 in favor and no dissent. Next item is item C, funding allocation number 199, Holman Avenue reconstruction, change order number 23 with Reith Riley Construction in the amount of $56,553.55. Is there a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
Moved by Councilman Rakos, seconded by Councilman Salinas for approval of change order number 23. Is there any discussion? During the course of opening the roadway on Russell Street, it would be the east approach or the east side of Holman Avenue at Russell. We encountered a 18-inch sewer line, what was in very poor condition and separated, was taking material and required a replacement for quite a long section between Holman Avenue and into Russell Street. This was unexpected, unanticipated, and the cost was $56,553.55.
Mr. President, just out of curiosity, could that have been triggered by the car accident that occurred there?
If it's the one you're talking about where the car drove into the open trench with AT&T?
Yes.
No, it was not related to that. That was a bit further to the north
Okay,
and was not anywhere near that sewer line.
okay, thank you.
We had found that a number of sewers that connected to the main trunk line, mostly sewer laterals along that Holman Avenue stretch, were in fairly poor condition.
Okay.
So I guess we should have anticipated that this was going to happen, but we didn't until we opened up the street.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes,
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries, 7 in favor and no dissent. Next item is 9D, a funding allocation 200, Holman Avenue Phase 1 reconstruction, supplemental construction engineering in the amount of $59,997.48. Is there a motion to approve?
make a motion.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Pareto, seconded by Commissioner Muta. Is there any discussion? This is for supplemental engineering work by American Structure Point for additional services as related to the extended construction period. The contractor anticipated to start in April and moved his start date into March to try to get the project done sooner. And the project also extended an additional 4 weeks beyond the planned completion date as a result of some other delays related to the construction that we were dealing with, both in terms of sewer work and anticipated in Russell Street that we just talked about, and detours and other concerns. So in order to complete the work, we needed the engineer to be on site during that time period. And so that's for that cost. And if there's any questions that the board may have and that I can't answer them, John Kennedy from American Structure Point is present to help me in case I falter. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries 7 in favor and no dissent. Next item on the agenda is item 9E, funding allocation 20201, Marble Street reconstruction, change order number 1 with Milestone Contractors North in the amount of $9,621.70. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Emerson and seconded by Councilman Salinas for Marble Street reconstruction change order number 1. Is there any discussion? The work on Marble Street, during the course of cutting the subgrade, we found a significant number of railroad ties being left behind. I don't know if you're familiar with Marble Street. This is the segment that's west of Wabash, in and around the new Gateway Station and maintenance facility for NICD. And if you know, on the way back to the old Calumet Flexicor, that road was in pretty poor condition. And so during the course of our reconstruction, we found a number of railroad ties. And as you know, railroad ties can't be just disposed of anywhere. They needed to be hauled away to a dedicated landfill. And this was done by Milestone in order to continue on with their work. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries 7 in favor and no dissent. I do have one other item, action for new business. This morning, the engineering department received the invoice for a project that was let or bid, in layman's terms. It was bid by the Indiana Department of Transportation in July. It is a funding allocation number 202 for the Kennedy Road Diet construction from 164th Place to the Indiana Toll Road. This is the city's 20% construction match in the amount of $856,605.91, and the chair would entertain a motion to approve.
I make the motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Rakos and seconded by Commissioner Prieto for approval of funding allocation number 202. Is there any discussion? So this is a federally funded project that the City of Hammond received from the Northwestern Indiana Regional Planning Commission and is administered through the Indiana Department of Transportation. That we received 80% of the $4.3 million sort of reconstruction of the project. It's not a complete reconstruction, but because we're not replacing much of the utilities, they're in good condition. The upper 4 feet or so of the sewer manholes we found in the previous Kennedy Avenue project was in poor shape, so we'll get those rebuilt. We'll fix curbs and sidewalks and then do a full depth asphalt reconstruct, and then we're going to restripe this. It's called a diet because right now that segment of road is 4 lanes wide. We're going to make it 1 lane in each direction, north and south, with the center turn lane. So there'll be only 1 lane in each direction as opposed to 2 lane travel lanes. The center lane will be a 2-way left turn lane that's commonly found in certain areas of the cities. Southern portion of Kennedy Avenue would be a good example, south of 169th Street, if you're familiar with that, which you should be. So this is our match of 20%, and we will spend that directly or pay the Indiana Department of Transportation for them to issue a notice to proceed. The contractor will gear up, and we don't expect really this project to see much activity until next year. If that changes, I will certainly advise this board on the plan for Kennedy reconstruction. We'll also say that the county is planning on replacing the bridge in between these segment, between 164th Place and the Indiana Toll Road. And so that is also being bid later this year with a concurrent construction period.
Just repairing the bridge, not replacing, correct?
Yeah, it's sort of they're taking the bridge deck off and then rebuilding the bridge deck. So it's not a full.
Right, okay.
They have to, sort of grout the piers and abutments, right, where they've sort of the concrete spalled away. So they'll fix those, but it's not completely tearing it down and building it up from scratch. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muda,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries 7 in favor, no dissent. Any other new business? Chair is grateful to the board and their positive action on these items. Next item is item 10, public expression. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone in the audience? Anyone on Zoom? Seeing none, the next meeting for this board is scheduled for Monday, August 19th. I do expect some funding allocations, so we hope to see you here. And with that said, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion